What's up guys, Ivan Carranza here and welcome to Bass Tone Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about whether the Quad Cortex by Neural DSP is worth the money or is it worth buying. And to demonstrate this and to talk about, and to be able to give you some of a more constructive opinion, I'm going to show you some live footage of me really using the Quad Cortex on stage, especially if you're not familiar with my channel, just to show you that I'm not just, a bedroom bass player and I'm not talking just out of my ass here. So I'm currently on tour with a Colombian band called Dr. Crapula, and we've been playing all over Germany this past few weeks, and I'm going to be playing also throughout the year with them. So far I've been using the Quad Cortex and you're going to see some footage of me using it. And after that, I'm going to share my thoughts about the unit, because this has been asked quite a few times on YouTube, also on TalkBass, and I've gotten messages. So I think it's important to address this. And as of the making of this video, July 2022, I have no affiliation whatsoever to Neural DSP. These are all my thoughts and opinions, and I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can be and give you useful information so you can make a decision for yourself. So let's check out the footage and then we're going to talk about the pros and cons of the unit and what my experience has been so far. So what you just heard on stage was either a bass cabinet or the wedges that were on the floor and I was playing completely ampless, or just what front of house was projecting and I was using in-ear monitors only. So many different scenarios where I've been using the unit, and in all of them it has performed extremely well. Now, is it worth almost $2,000 or 2,000 euros, depending on where you are? That's a very tough question to answer, and I think you cannot answer it, as a black and white, because we all have different uses, we all have different wants and needs. we all are going to use the unit probably in a different way. Now, for me, I got it and I paid full price for it because, first of all, this is the first digital modeler or amp, digital unit that I've personally owned. I've tried a Kemper, I've tried a Helix, but this is the first that I have bought. And I knew that if I didn't like it, I could probably sell it for the exact same price as I bought it because there's a fairly long wait list. And when I got it, I liked it so much that I decided to keep it. Now, I'm using it to play live and to record. So I am really using it. For me, it is a tool to work. It is not just a hobby device. I'm not just messing with it around at home. I'm using it really because it simplifies my setup and it makes my life easier. I can show up to a rehearsal or to sound check, to perform live. I just pull this out of its case, put it on the floor, connect an XLR cable, and I'm ready to go. I don't have to do anything else. Maybe the most, just look for the preset that I have to use on that particular date. But that's it. So far in sound checks, I've had to change one parameter once, just because front of house wasn't getting as much low end when I was switching between the presets. But that was it. And for example, on festival slots where you have very short changeover times, that is incredibly valuable. You don't have to pull up your pedal board and set all the pedals and all the parameters and all the knobs and make sure that everything is ready. That takes time, and cooking up all the cables, maybe one of the cables on your board goes dead. You never know, but it takes time setting all that up. This simplifies my life tremendously, and that's really, really crucial when you have very short changeover times. Like I said, this past weekend we had planned from the event organizer. They planned 10 minutes for the entire band for changeover. And we have keyboards, we have guitars, drums, in-ear monitors, and it's quite a lot for just such little time. So being able to just carry this, put it on the floor, connect everything, and be ready in under 5 minutes is really helpful. That to me is worth a fairly chunk of the price that it has. Now, the other thing is that you have also a consistent sound every single time. You don't have to worry about, moving knobs and, patching up your pedals with tape and putting the settings in there to remember what you did. I just save the preset and I'm good to go. I already know that next night it's gonna be the exact same sound if my strings are not dead. So that's also very, very useful. The other thing is that I can also capture my own pedals if I want to. I can capture my amp, and cabinet. So I can take the sound of everything that I have, or pretty much everything, put it in here and use it on stage without carrying all the load. The unit is very light. I just put it with its case inside a suitcase and I travel with it with my clothes on it. So I don't have to carry much, just my bass, one piece of luggage, and I'm good for many days traveling on the road. So that is also a huge, huge benefit. Now, I know that some people are kind of mad or disappointed because Neural DSP said that they were going to make ports of their plugins and put them in the unit soon, and soon hasn't come out yet, or that they were gonna do more bass effects and devices inside the Quad Cortex, and that hasn't happened yet. But you have to keep in mind that, first of all, the past 2 years for all the manufacturers regarding the industry, not even music related, have been facing tremendous challenges, like really. And the second thing is that the guitar market is way bigger than the bass market. So we are a very niche community compared to the people that play guitar. So it makes sense, complete sense from a business standpoint, to cover that first, because there is a big gap that needs to be covered compared to line 6 or the Kemper. So it makes sense to really fill up all the gaps regarding guitar playing first and make the guitar players happy first, so they have a functional, really road-ready unit before you start taking care of the bass players. Even though I'm a bass player myself, I understand the decisions, and frankly speaking, I don't feel that I have anything lacking. I wish there were some more things here and there on specific things, but I don't feel that I'm missing anything. I just have wishes that I would like to test this instead of that, for example. But so far on most of my presets, I'm using an Ampeg SVT, the classic one. In that case, I wish I had an SVT VR, just with some more flexibility regarding the mids and the sound. I find it's a bit grittier, and I wish there were some more cabinet options. A couple of extra effects would be cool, but like I said, I don't feel that I'm missing anything. If you compare it to the Line 6 at this point, like I said, July 22, of course, there are a lot of effects that are not on the Quad Cortex yet, but I'm sure they're going to be added, so it's just a matter of thinking more long-term instead of having the instant gratification. Because if you're buying this, I'm thinking like in a 10-year basis. I know that I'm going to be able to use this for at least 10 years, and I'm going to be really safe and solid playing live and using it to record and capture my amps and whatever. So I'm trying to think long term and not just, okay, I want it 2 months from now, In my opinion, if you're just going to use it at home to mess around with a bit of effects here and there, and you don't play live and you don't use it as a tool, I think there are other units that can give you pretty much the same without the price tag. Now, we are all free to do whatever we want with our money. No judgment from me. But I think there are options that can get you similar results if you just want to play around a little bit with effects here and there, experiment, and you're not that concerned about having a full-on professional tool to play live. Other units are also great for professional use, don't get me wrong, but for me, for my taste, none of the other ones have really convinced me. I've tested them, like I said, and for the portability, ease of use, and sound quality, I think the Quad Cortex is definitely worth it. That is for my personal uses. Like I said, I don't know about your situation, I don't know what you do, but if you want a really powerful workhorse, a really useful tool to play, I think you're not making any kind of mistake getting the Quad Cortex. If you just want to use it at home as a hobby, play around a little bit, you might be able to get away with using something that's a lot cheaper. If you, however, want to have this because you enjoy having good gear, by all means, get it. It's a great piece of gear. Nobody's going to argue about that. But you might be a bit disappointed because of the current state, there's not that many things available for bass, which I'm sure are going to come. So like I said, try to think a bit more long term about this. But this already, in the current state of design development, already gives you a bunch of options, about how to split your signals, how you send different outputs, using different effects, using scenes to toggle on off different effects with just one switch. There are a lot of options here and there, but you have to judge the situation by yourself. You probably want me to say, yes, it's worth it. No, it's not, but I can't do that. I cannot judge your situation. So this is me being completely honest. I'm telling you my uses, how I've been using it so far, and what benefits I've encountered. And bear in mind that I was planning on using a full-on analog board for many years, and I have here my Neural DI. You can see it here, and this is a killer piece of gear. It's in a box because I took it to a gig one of the days and didn't want it to get bumped, but I know I can also get a great analog sound with my pedals and this together, but taking the Quad Cortex is a lot easier sometimes, and I don't have to worry about messing up the tubes in case something happens with the Neural DI. So take this from somebody that has the options to use other stuff as well, and I feel really confident and comfortable using the Quad Cortex. So I hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and also don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the content that's coming to the channel. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.